All right, we're on Ezekiel right now, and it's like you have to understand the danger that is happening here. Again, like I said, he's acting like an idiot. He's acting like a child. He's building a city, and then he's laying siege to it, and then he's gonna lie on his side for like almost a year, maybe. What, like shit? And then he's gonna lie on his other side for 40 days because Ezekiel likes Judah rather than Israel, the state. And but it's like you have to understand the danger. Okay, so like this is what I don't know. What I don't know is whether or not non-Jews were allowed into Jerusalem, right? But it really doesn't matter. So you take, let's say Jews were allowed into Jerusalem. You'd have diplomats and merchants walking around Jerusalem. And what would these diplomats and merchants see? They'd see this grown man, acting like a freaking child. Building this little play city and laying siege to it. But they're going to be seeing him prophesying. Oh, thank you. You're amazing. Prophesying the destruction of Jerusalem. Like that's what he's doing. He's prophesying the destruction of Jerusalem. And that's what they're going to be seeing. Right? And so in order to understand Ezekiel, you have to understand context. Right? And what is the context? The context is Mesopotamia, right? And so these merchants and these diplomats they're going to be going back to their cities, and they're going to be like, hey, this guy's like prophesying the destruction of the Jews. And like in their minds, they're all going to be like, cha-ching, right? Because Mesopotamia is a very superstitious place. And superstition is used as population control. And this is not always necessarily a bad thing, depending on the people who are using it. I'm not arguing for this. I'm just saying not everything is always malicious and cynical. It's just you give a man freedom, and some will choose it, and others will still choose to be slaves. Maybe not actual contracted, but in their daily lives, right? And so what does a wise man do? He allows a man to be. So this is the world that we're dealing with. We're dealing with the world of superstition. So let's say you go back and like the wise men of any place are going to be like, hey, we can use this. And then they can start going up to their people and say, the Jews are against our gods. And not only are the Jews against our gods, their own God is against them. Their own God is prophesying against them. Right? And the fact that he's doing this, and when they tell the Mesopotamian people that this is what Ezekiel is doing, like this is going to be a Mesopotamian sensation. Right? But who's going to do it? And you might judge Ezekiel and say, oh, he would never do that. But here's the thing, like that image at the beginning of the four-faced figure, that's Ezekiel. That's totally Ezekiel, because he's being the eagle, and he comes in like a thief in the night. And he just swoops in and takes care of business. But he's using the hands of other Mesopotamians. And some people might protest and say, oh, Ezekiel would never do that to the Jews. He would never do that to the Jews, you know? He would never set them up and have another tribe invade them, right? But the problem is that you are judging this through your own eyes and your own context. And the problem is that when you think of warfare, you think of total warfare, but that's a modern phenomenon. Total warfare is a modern phenomenon. If you go to the Assyrians would sometimes come to a city and just like slaughter everybody and then like boast about it. But a lot of the times they were grabbing other people. They would bring them into Assyria. They would give them land which they could build their own homes on and have their own families. And they'd be like, hey, you know, congratulations, you're now Assyrian. And now you have to speak and be Assyrian or speak Aramaic, one of the two. But that's what was happening. Like this idea of total warfare is a modern phenomenon. And that's just like, if you look at this Assyrian example, like these people are being given their own properties, and they're being given their own professions, because Assyria was a land that had more potential prosperity than it had people. So the Assyrians were bringing in all these people. And so this was the way, and this didn't always happen. Of course, sometimes people were conquered and they were made to be slaves, right? So these are two totally different ways to treat conquered people. But in neither of these ways do you slaughter everybody there. You know, you might slaughter a city, but you're gonna take everybody else. In the countryside, in the other cities that are conquered, and you're going to take them, and you're going to take them to either enslave them or to have their wealth contribute to your own wealth, right? Because, I mean, there could be this idea where the leaders prosper when the people prosper, right? That's not how it usually works. But like Ezekiel knew that once the Jews are conquered, they're going to be brought into Babylon, right? They're not going to be slaughtered off the face of the earth like a psychotic person would do. Like the Alawites were just done in, right? And so he wasn't setting the Jews up to be completely slaughtered. No, it's like, I mean, if you look at this guy, this is. I mean, again, that's the eagle face. Like again, Ezekiel is this four-faced figure. That's the eagle face. The man face is his his idiocy. Like, oh, this is just a man, you know, like shit. Like that's just a man. I think the lion stuff is his theatrics. But anyways, but that's who Ezekiel is. He's the four-faced figure. And I think one thing we can say about Ezekiel is this is a man that doesn't give a fuck. Like, as we might speak in modern terms. Like, he doesn't give a fuck. Like, how does he prophesy? He prophesies by being this little child, right? He doesn't even say a word. Neither does God. Neither of them say a word. And he portrays God as this nagging buffoon, right? But it's, you know, I mean, I think what it is that, you know, I mean, Ezekiel's already made his judgment. You know, and this little game he's playing is the final test. But he has his lists already spread out. And this is a coup. This is a coup, right? And he's using a Babylonian hand as the muscle. Just like Solomon could use the devils to build up shit. All right, I think that's it. Yeah, so I like this little fingerprint recognition stuff. Oh, you gotta cut off my finger. I don't got anything in this computer worth cutting off my finger for, though. All right. All right. Let's keep going. Take wheat and barley and beans and lentils, millet and spelt. Put them in a storage jar and use them to make bread for yourself. You are to eat it during the 390 days you lie on your side. Weigh out 20 shekels of food to each day and eat it at set times. Also measure out a sixth of hin of water and drink it at set times. Eat the food as you would a loaf of barley bread. Bake it in the sight of the people, using human excrement for fuel. The Lord said, "In this way the people of Israel will eat defiled food among the nations where I will drive them." Then I said, "Not so, sovereign Lord. I have never defiled myself. From my youth until now, I have never eaten anything found dead or torn by wild animals. No impure meat has ever entered my mouth." "Very well," he said. My God is just this buffoon. Again, he just changed God's mind, right? "Very well," he said. "I will let you bake your bread over cow dung instead of human excrement." He then said to me, "Son of man, I am about to cut off." So God in this text is acting exactly like Ezekiel is acting to the Jews. They're both acting like buffoons. No one sees it because no one knows how to read, man. Shit. Then he said to me, "Son of man, I am about to cut off the food supply in Jerusalem. The people will eat ration food in anxiety and drink ration water in despair, for food and water will be scarce." Right, there's that word scarce, right? Oh shit. Right, Yahweh is a God of abundance. And it's like almost that he's accusing the Jews right here, because a lot of this is silly shit, but every now and then, boom, words pop in. But it's almost like he's accusing the Jews of being Phoenicians, in that they're creating scarcity in order to increase value, and therefore their judgments are being rebounded upon them. And that's what I get from this, right? For their food and water will be scarce, right? So it's like, oh shit, they're the ones creating scarcity. Now they're getting scarcity as a judgment. They will be appalled at the sight of each other and will waste away because of their sins, right? I like that line, they will be appalled at the sight of each other, right? You think of, again, the Phoenicians are all about aristocracy, they're all about, honor, these fake materialistic physical honors. And they're appealed at the sights of each other, right? All of these fake people are appealed at their own sights. But now they will be appalled at the sight of each other, right? Now, son of man, take a sharp sword and use it as a barber's razor to shave your head and your beard. Then take a set of scales and divide up the hair.
When the days of your siege come to an end, burn a third of your hair inside the city. Take a third and strike it with the sword all around the city, and scatter a third to the wind. For I will pursue them with drawn sword. But take a few hairs and tuck them away in the folds of your garment. Again, take a few of these and throw them into the fire and burn them up. A fire will spread from there to all Israel. This is what the Lord Sovereign says. This is Jerusalem, which I have set in the center of the nations, with countries all around her. Yet in her wickedness she has rebelled against my laws and decrees for more than the nations and countries around her. She has rejected my laws and has not followed my decrees. Therefore, this is what the Sovereign Lord says. You have been more unruly than the nations around you, and have not followed my decrees or kept my laws. You have not even conformed to the standards of the nations around you. Ouch. Therefore, this is what the Sovereign Lord says. I myself am amongst you, Jerusalem, and I will inflict punishment on you in the sight of the nations, because of all your detestable idols. I will do to you what I have never done before and will never do again. Therefore, in your midst, parents will eat their children, and children will eat their parents. I will inflict punishment upon you and scatter all your survivors to the winds. Therefore, as surely as I live, declares the Sovereign Lord, because you have defiled my sanctuary with all your vile images and detestable practices, I myself will shave you. I will not look on you with pity or spare you. A third of your people will die of plague or perish by famine inside you. A third of you will fall by the sword outside your walls, and a third I will scatter to the winds and pursue with drawn sword. Then my anger will cease, and my wrath against them will subside, and I will be avenged. And when I have spent my wrath on them, they will know that I, the Lord, have spoken in my zeal. I will make you a ruin and a reproach among the nations around you, in the sight of all who pass by. You will be a reproach and a taunt, a warning and an object of horror to the nations around you when I inflict punishment on you in an anger and in wrath, and with stinging rebuke. I, the Lord, have spoken. When I shoot at you with my deadly and destructive arrow of famine, I will shoot to destroy you. I will bring more and more famine upon you and cut your supply of food. I will send famine and wild beast against you, and they will leave you childless. Plague and bloodshed will sweep through you, and I will bring the sword against you. I, the Lord, have spoken. Okay, so, we see this transformation right here. Oh my God, we see this transformation of Ezekiel's God. Because Ezekiel's God goes from playing the buffoon to just like spitting out some killer rhymes here. Like shit. Like he's delivering some substance all over this shit, right? That's a real transformation of this Ezekiel's portrayal of God, right? Now, Ezekiel's gonna have to shave, which is that's shameful, right? For men to shave, right? And so again, Ezekiel keeps this is exactly like Abraham's meekness. This is exactly like Abraham's meekness. Abraham's pretending to be meek, but who is going to pursue that third? Right, because the first third is going to be killed by the Babylonians. But who's going to pursue the second third? Right, the second third is going to be pursued by Ezekiel's agents. Right, Ezekiel's not doing this, I think, by himself. He's already taken control by the time he starts to set up his little city. He's got his network of trusted Jews that are righteous alongside him. That's who's going to be pursuing this second third, right? Because the Babylonians are going to take their captives and then they're going to go back to Babylon. But this second third, it's going to be pursued by Ezekiel's men. Right? While Ezekiel himself is over in Babylon shepherding to the Jews in Babylon. Now, son of man. Let's see. No, I already did that. Oh yeah, when we're talking now. That's right. Let's go back. No, son of man. No, like I already pointed that out because it was just funny. Like again, right? Very well. Like think about the power of that sentence. Think about the power of that those two words. Very well. Very well. Like what type of God is Ezekiel's God? This is a type of God that will listen to you. Like, God wants him to eat human shit, you know? And I think he should have done it. But, because he didn't see the divine joke. Thank you. You're amazing. And, but this is a God very well. Right? This is a God that you can approach. Right? He's not like, again, stand up on your feet and talk to me. Stand up on your feet. Don't like, this is a God that doesn't want fucking slovenly worship. Oh shit.